Alright tech family, the MacBook Air with Apple's new M2 chip is good. Really good. Let's get into it. I bought the cheaper of the two models available, the 8-core CPU and 8-core GPU one, which I chose as going into this review, I didn't believe that this laptop should be bought for high-performance tasks. I would prefer it perform better, i.e. less heat, more battery life in more casual tasks that I would actually use it for, such as office work and browsing the web. And you see, lower-end, less power-intensive chips tend to do this. I then configured my unit with a larger 512GB of storage. I felt that 256GB would be too small for me. By the way, I always buy laptops in a config I would actually consider keeping for myself if they turn out to be awesome. I just feel like it helps me review laptops as an actual owner. Plus, I had read reviews that the 256GB drive was substantially slower than the larger capacity models. I didn't end up upgrading the RAM from 8GB, as with the processor, I didn't feel for the use case I expected for this laptop I was going to need it. Finally, I chose the silver model. I was tempted to buy that midnight color, the new one, but saw other reviewers saying it was a fingerprint magnet, and I just don't want to have to deal with that. On receiving the laptop, the first thing I noticed was that it looks stunning. Apple's new design language really comes alive with this super thin chassis. I didn't think the MacBook Pro 14 and 16 looked as stunning as something like the Razer Blade 14, but the thinness of the Air just really makes this design pop. It looks incredibly stylish. I do like the addition of the MagSafe port. It means I don't have to use one of the USB-C ports for power like I had to on the older version. Both the USB-C ports do support charging still. My only nit is that all charging capable ports are on the left side, so you will have to run a cable around the back if your outlet is on the other side of the laptop. The display is noticeably larger than on the prior model at 13.6 inches. It felt large enough that I didn't feel like I was using a super small laptop. It's bright and color accurate too. When compared to the MacBook Pro 14's best of the best display, content on this one is not as crisp or vivid. One minor negative about this display is that normally on Apple laptops, I'm able to comfortably run at the more space setting, allowing me to see more content on screen. The amount of content that you can see on screen without needing to squint depends on several factors: the pixel density, brightness, contrast, etc. I wasn't able to quite use the more space setting on this laptop, not without zooming on documents on individual applications like Word or Excel. On Excel, I was able to see 43 rows on screen, which is still good for a 13-inch laptop. By the way, the notch really shouldn't be this large. Because of its size and the smaller 13-inch screen, it does take away space from apps that run in the menu bar. This menu bar is where macOS puts running apps that don't need to use the full screen. An example would be Dropbox. This is an important area for macOS. This laptop doesn't have as much visible space for these apps because of the large notch. That being said, in everyday use, honestly, the notch just blends into the background and you likely won't notice it. The keyboard is the main thing that I really don't like about this laptop. It feels noticeably low travel. I found it a little uncomfortable, especially compared to the MacBook Pro 14's and 16's keyboard. Those feel deeper. The Dell XPS 13 Plus also feels substantially more comfortable to type on than this laptop. The trackpad is excellent, as always with Apple laptops. The sound is very good for a laptop this size. I was expecting that it wouldn't be good as there are no visible speaker grills on the laptop, but I was wrong. It was better than all the Windows laptops that I've tested. However, not as good as the MacBook Pro 14. Here's how the webcam on the MacBook Air looks and sounds in excellent lighting conditions. The performance on this laptop is incredible, so much better than I could have imagined. In everyday use, this laptop is very snappy. It also never gets hot or even warm to the touch. This was an issue on my prior MacBook Air with M1. My assumption is that this redesigned chassis is better able to dissipate heat from the processor. Anyway, it remained very cool to the touch in everyday use, and of course dead silent. No annoying fan noise here. I did try editing one simple 4K video project on the laptop in Premiere Pro, and it performed like an absolute champ. This is awesome considering that my unit only has 8GB of RAM. On that note, I was concerned that 8GB wouldn't be enough, but it was totally fine for my use case. That's where I was regularly running about 10 to 20 browser tabs open on Chrome, Citrix was running, Dropbox, Discord, and numerous Office applications. I saw no slowdown whatsoever. Even when editing that video project, no slowdown switching between apps or anything else. So don't beat yourself up for not paying that ludicrous price for the 16GB of RAM upgrade. You may not need it. Honestly, overall, I was blown away with how well this laptop performs. In comparison, something like the latest Dell XPS 9320 with Intel's 12th gen isn't as snappy and feels substantially warmer to the touch in light use. And there is zero chance, that that laptop could edit the same 4K video project that this one could. Let's take a look at some performance tests for a bit more colour. In Geekbench, which tests a variety of common performance tasks, this laptop scored the highest single-core performance I've ever seen. Single-core performance is still one of the primary factors in what makes an application snappy. Multi-core performance was also very good, a nice step up from the prior generation, but not quite hitting the heights of Intel's 12th gen P-series equipped ultrabooks like the Dell XPS 13 Plus. Moving on to Cinebench, which tests the laptop when the processor is maxed out. Again, similar story to Geekbench. It trails the Intel 12th gen laptops and now AMD Ryzen 5000 Series 2 from last year. However, those laptops have substantial fan noise for the performance, which this laptop just does not. It is still a very nice bump up in performance though compared to the prior generation M1. When running Cinebench on a loop for 10 minutes, yes, like other reviewers, I did notice a drop in performance, but honestly, what can you expect? This laptop has no fan to cool the processor. The only way it can be cooled is to throttle it. Yes, performance drops, but not a monolithic one. I've seen worse on Intel 12th gen laptops that have fans. Low power consumption continues to be a strong point for the M series of processors, which is what enables this laptop to perform without a fan. This laptop requires around half the wattage as an Intel 12th gen processor, a P-series one that is, yet it has far better performance per watt. I mean, heck, the new Dell XPS 13 Plus comes with a 60-watt charger. This laptop's charger is half of that at 30 watts. When it comes to heat you feel, when the processor is under sustained heavy load, it gets warm for sure, but it doesn't get as warm to the touch as Intel 12th gen laptops. Seriously, to edit videos as smoothly as this laptop does, for a Windows one, you'd probably need at least 100 watts of power fed to the laptop, if not more, and that laptop would run loud and feel warm. The laptop is very portable. It feels noticeably lighter than the MacBook Pro 14, and is very comfortable to use on your lap or carry around with you. One of the best things about the prior MacBook Air with M1 was it was only slightly more expensive than a budget laptop. You could easily find it for around $900. For the quality that you were getting, it was a no-brainer and was the clear value for money winner. It was the laptop that I recommended for most people that didn't have a very specific use case, i.e. say gaming. However, this generation of MacBook Air now starts $200 more, and right now it can't be found as easily on sale, so it's really $300 more. Plus, in 2022, the 256GB drive it includes really isn't ideal. You really need to upgrade it to 512GB, so you're looking at spending around $1,400. At that price point, it's no longer the clear winner. There are several other good laptops to consider, which brings me to my conclusion. This laptop is awesome, far better than I ever thought, but it's no longer the laptop I'd recommend to most people. For example, I used to suggest that those on a tighter budget looking to spend around $700 try to save to get the MacBook Air with M1, as it was a lot better than PC laptops at that price point. But in 2022, there are plenty of good Windows laptops now available sub $1,000 like the HP Pavilion Plus. This laptop is really for those who want an excellent, all-round premium laptop. A student, for example, who has money, or their parents do. An office worker, someone learning to code, someone doing very lightweight video editing. I'd think twice though at buying this laptop if you intend to configure it with higher specs. The higher end model of this laptop with 16GB of RAM will cost around $1,700. At that amount, you're almost at the price of the MacBook Pro 14. That laptop screen is a far more useful size, especially for people looking at a lot of information on screen, like a software developer or financial analyst. Plus, it's substantially more powerful for high-performance tasks, and it has a more comfortable keyboard. You could also look at the Asus G14, which costs less at around $1,500 and is a more powerful machine, allowing you to do things that this one can't, like AAA gaming. Obviously, with the Asus G14 and MacBook Pro 14, you'll be sacrificing a bit of portability as they are larger laptops. Still portable though. For me personally, when it comes to a premium portable laptop, I'm going to stick with the XPS 13 Plus 9320 due to its more comfortable keyboard. For my use case, for this kind of laptop, I do a ton of typing and value that above other things that this laptop, the MacBook Air with M2, brings to the table, like substantially better battery life. However, please be sure to check out my reviews on those other laptops before you buy, because as always, there are gotchas. I'll link those in the description below. If you like this video, you know what to do. Smash that like button and get subscribed. Not only does it show your appreciation for the insane amount of effort that goes into making these, but as I always say, it makes my mother very proud. By the way, check out our Discord server, where vetted laptop advisors are standing by to help you out. Till next time, go do something awesome with your day, and I will catch you later.